r/AskReddit, what words do Americans pronounce weirdly? I hear people pronounce an invisible L in the word both, sounding the front of the word more like bolt than boat. Dud and for doesn't. As far as I can tell, GWB started that and nobody ended it. We pronounce zebra like zebra instead of zebra, but if that were correct then wouldn't Deborah be pronounced Debra instead of Debra? Russell Brand. New Jersey and New York have a plague of people mispronouncing various Italian food names. They just delete the last letter from the word or straight up bastardize it. Capicola equals gabagol. Calamari equals galamagd. It drives me insane. Ricotta equals regut. Buoy is pronounced boy. You'd think it would be easy as you pronounce buoyant the same way. But no, you get the abomination of buoy. MFW, I realize I've been saying both my entire life. Surprised face. I've heard it both ways be. Not as bad as the invisible F in birthday. I hear this a lot around Cleveland. The name Craig. C-R-E-G. You can add Graham to that as well. Where did they get Graham from? They are both Scottish/Celt origin names. Craig and Graham are both hard done by. Also Aaron pronounced like Aaron. Always this one. C-R-E-G. Crazy. It's sort of like Caribbean. It's Caribbean unless you talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. The rules are wild. Bold of you to assume Americans can agree on pronunciations. Caribbean is an adjective for something from the Caribbean. I knew people in college who said it Caribbean. It isn't the rules, it is the Disney factor. Roof. Root. I seem to say root both ways. It confuses even me. I'm an American, from Northern Virginia, but my 7th grade science teacher was originally from Minnesota, link and pronounced roof like roof. It drove me nuts lol. Bologna. How do you even get from Bologna to Bologna? Want me to ask my American friend Tagna? Same way you get kernel from kernel. GN is Italian spelling for the Nia sound. Italian pronunciation is Bologna. Seriously, most of these I'm like wait who does that? I'm in California. Herbs, instead of herbs. Did they call Herbert Hoover, Herbert Hoover? As an American, I still don't quite understand Arkansas. Yet Kansas is pronounced as expected. And then there's Arkansas City, a small town in Kansas, pronounced Ark Kansas, or just Ark City for short. Which makes some sense until you learn the Arkansas River runs through the town, which the locals pronounce just like the state. America is a weird place, linguistically. America, explain. Some Americans say orange with just one syllable. Orange. Also the wax coloring utensil, the crayon. My parents used to say orange, maybe sounds like oinge, and my sister still does. I fixed that work real quick once I was laughed at summer camp. Every time I hear suppository bly I want to tear my ears off. Caramel. There is a second A in there. We really gonna call out skipping letters, when the British gave us Worcestershire sauce, wherein approximately 3 letters are pronounced. Those from the south will understand this struggle. Dro. Can sometimes sound like drawl, drool, or drawl er. Rural. I'm American and I need at least 5 minutes of preparations and repeating it to try to say it correctly. When I say it I try to roll my tongue on the second R and I just can't. Hope you don't come across any rural jurors anytime soon. The rural juror. The Irma Lerman Merman murder set the first world torrent. You're gonna shit your pants when you learn how many American dialects exist. I did work in Tulsa and I swear to God some of the people can say Oklahoma in one syllable. Caramel as caramel. Aluminum, probably because we're the only ones who spell it aluminum and not aluminium. Mirror makes me slightly nuts. Nuclear. Where they got nuclear from, I will never know. Drawer. We had a president for 8 years who would often say nuclear. I'm American and I don't know anyone who pronounces it like that. Solder as in soldering iron. Why do you say something that sounds like solder? Very odd. Mirror pronounced mirror. Horror pronounced whore. Waiter for water. Witter is said a lot around me. My wife's family pronounces realtor as real-ihr. I don't know where that extra syllable comes from. A couple of guys I know say real-ator. Colonel. My grandma would pronounce oil earl like the name. Ah yes, the Ivy League school. The SNL Colonel Angus skit is worth a watch. All the ladies love Colonel Angus. French word. Mischievous is mischievous, not mischievous. A man incorrectly tried to correct my pronunciation in a bar, while trying to convince me to fuck him. Like, how low do you think my self-esteem is? Damn. Let me ask you a question. You gotta be more specific. The history on that is fascinating. Link. It's not just an American thing. Brewery. It usually comes out as brewery or brewery. We skip a whole syllable. That and espresso. I work at a coffee shop. I've started keeping track of how many times people pronounce it espresso during slow shifts. It's more than a little concerning. The Italian judge on MasterChef did that, espresso, in one season, and now whenever I see him critique a dish pretentiously I think back to that and laugh. Some people just say draw. Slap the espresso people. They need to be shamed into compliance. Halloween. For some reason it always sounds like Halloween to me. I don't think I realized this until the Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter came out, and it took me a second to realize people talking about it weren't saying hollow, so I would actually get confused sometimes. I lived with an American woman in Australia in the 80s, I am a New Zealander. She, for the life of her, couldn't say mirror. Just came out as mirror. WTF. How are you going to forget the H in front of verb? With honor. We didn't forget. The French did. We copied them. It's a French word. As Eddie Izzard once joked, yeah, we pronounce it herbs because it has a fucking H in it. I don't know why we dropped the H but kept the spelling. Moved from Los Angeles to West Virginia. I have to put a twang in my voice for the drive-through workers to understand me. Hi, may I please have a number 4? I'm sorry Huni, I can't understand you. I said. Can I giant me a number 4? Sure thing, will that be all? Every time. I absolutely hate the way Americans pronounced what. Me, a Texan. My college roommate, a girl from Fall River, Mass. The first time one of us asked the other to get something out of a drawer, we laughed so hard just saying the word over and over, LOL. Is it not pronounced twat? Or does it rhyme with hat? Weirdly. How else can you pronounce this? Bottle of water. Huyawawa. Bottle of water, definitely not pronouncing the T. Everyone knows it's pronounced Boyul of Woa. /J. Balo Wola. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Ask someone from Boston where he left his khakis and see if he brings you pants or a hearing. I used to work in a deli, and the amount of people who pronounce rotisserie as rotisserie infuriated me to no end. I used to like to sing that pronunciation to the tune of the WWI era song It's a Long Way to Tipperary. Well, it's a long rotisserie. Notre Dame. John Saunders would always refuse to say it the way everyone says it. Funny part is everyone usually says Notre Dame, the cathedral in Paris, correctly, but the school is pronounced Notre Dame for some reason. The school is Notre Dame, the fancy church in Paris is Notre Dame. Certain people will overemphasize the H in words with a WH prefix. White cool whip. Prevalent in the South, but I've heard it from many American dialects. Say whip. Whip. Now say cool whip. Cool whip.